different is a greatsword slice compared to a katana? Well, today we're going to be putting these two iconic swords to the test to see how different they truly are. While the greatsword and the katana are two of the most iconic swords throughout history, they could not be more different. You're probably well aware that the katana was wielded by ancient Japanese samurai. It's a single-edged sword whose main purpose was cutting and slicing. Ancient Japanese armor was made out of cloth and leather, so slicing that down was integral for close quarters combat. In fact, katanas were rarely used in real combat, with samurai preferring other weapons like the bow and arrow or spears. Because of this, they were more designed for speed or injuring an unarmed person. The katana were often used as a backup plan while all other weapons have failed. The greatsword, on the other hand, is a variation of the infamous longsword used throughout the Middle Ages in England. These swords were used as the main weapon of the knight. And since knights wore thick metal armor, this sword is designed around piercing through those weak spots in that armor, which is why it's a lot longer than the katana and also dual-sided. Since it was being used in real combat, range was everything. This results in a sword that is much heavier than the katana, with the greatsword requiring two-hand support, unlike the longsword. While both had extremely different purposes, I wanted to see how these swords slice, and if the different designs of the sword would lead to different results. So I called in my friend Irvin, who's a Korean martial arts expert, and a pro with katanas, to test these swords out for me.
Hello, my name is Irvin Win. I've been practicing the Korean martial art of Hapkido for over 20 years, and today we're going to be testing some cuts with the katana and this greatsword.
First up, we'll have him using the katana.
Didn't mean to go that high.
It's clear here that Irvin is very practiced with the katana by the way he's able to quickly and swiftly cut through the tatami mat. The biggest thing he has on his side is speed. Since the katana is so lightweight, he's able to draw and swing it very easily. Now, let's move on to the greatsword.
Alright, so now I'm going to be cutting with the greatsword. Hapkido doesn't have this weapon, so I've never cut with this. Let's see how it goes. Already it feels a lot heavier, so I don't know if I can do this. Whoosh. Whoosh. Somebody fix this?
As you can see, it's clear that Irvin is much more experienced with a more nimble katana rather than the intense weight of the greatsword. In fact, Irvin hit the mat so hard that he broke our cutting stand and we had to swap it out for a new one. We brought in the backup stand and had Irvin try using the greatsword again.
Oi, there we go. I think this is broken.
And this time he was much more successful. You can see that Irvin took a much larger swing with the sword than he did last time, nearly spinning the entire sword around his head before hitting the mat. On Irvin's fourth attempt with the sword, he actually knocked the base right off of our stand. Which makes sense, as knights are said to not only use these swords for slicing and piercing, but also as a straight bludgeon because they're so heavy.
You have a lot of thoughts about like how heavy that broadsword is and how difficult it was to wield compared to like the katana.
Alright, so just as I thought with the greatsword, it's pretty heavy. I couldn't produce enough speed to cut the mat. And when I did try to pick up the speed, I definitely felt like I was losing the angle and I was just hitting it with like brute force. As opposed to the katana, which I felt like I can just, from a shorter range, I can get that slice and get that speed really easily. This one actually had to swing it in a circle just to produce enough force and momentum to get that cut. And it was a little bit easier after that, but definitely still difficult because I broke this thing because I didn't get the angle right. So I don't think I was swinging it with as much finesse. Like it felt like I was swinging a baseball bat as opposed to this thing. I felt like I had more technique with it, so.
In conclusion, the katana and the greatsword are two totally different swords. The katana being a lightweight backup option for its users, while the greatsword was the main form of attacking for the knights that used them. But just because they're different doesn't mean that they're any less sharp. Thanks so much for watching the video today, guys. If you liked the video, make sure you subscribe for more awesome katana and cutting content. And check out our website for a katana of your own. I've been Sean with Mini Katana, and we'll see you guys next time.